Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an awesome life. It's a rainy day in Georgia. Coffee talk. Are you awakened? Want to know the signs? Well, this will be interesting. All right. Awakened people do not see problems, they see opportunities. If you are not awakened, you might believe you're awakened and that other people are a problem to your peace. Awakened people see others as themselves, as students evolving, and that whatever they're going through is a part of the collective of which they are here just to experience and to evolve. A person who's not awakened will see the world as a problem, as totally chaotic and messed up, a problem to their peace. An awakened person has compassion for others. A person who is not awakened will see others as, let's just say, something to be judged, something that is a disruption, something that needs to be corrected. You see, others are you. They are students just like you. And when you have to be right, you're not in an awakened state. You're not seeing that all of these relationships and every single situation you're in is about you. It's about you evolving. And it's about them because they are an extension of you. And that their involvement in whatever situation that arises, it could be a simple one, like somebody cutting you off on the freeway, is a test for you. And it's like Eckhart Tolle says, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your parents, right? We can be at peace when we're meditating and we're in our peace, but as soon as the husband comes in the room that is negative, you oppose it. He's a problem. And then you say you are enlightened. So you leave the room to go meditate on your own because he's an issue. Now, it's you. And he's there to remind you of that. And if you were to go into that awakened state and see him as another soul evolving, you would be the example of peace. And that energy would exude from you and allow him the opportunity, if he chooses, to change. We are creatures of habit. Sometimes people don't even realize how they speak, how they come off. Maybe that's just who they think they are. And it takes time for these people that are in those habits, those negative habits, to change. You can be the light, or you can be the critic and the judge. That's not awakened. So, the other part is, I get people coming to me all the time, help me, and it's usually some other person is a problem. And I said, don't write me, you know what I'm going to say. It's all about you. It's about how you're handling things and that you see them not as a problem or something to judge, but as your test to see how you're going to handle it, how you're going to feel and think about that person. And if you can stay in that peaceful place. And so the response is 100% of the time, so far, the response is pretty much name-calling. Nothing really bad, because they didn't hear what they want. I didn't take their side. I didn't take anybody's side. They didn't hear what they wanted. That's the ego. That's not awakened. Somebody even said that they were 90% awakened, and only 10% is bothered by this situation. Awakening cannot be portioned off in percentages. There are levels of frequencies, and you know when you're going there. You will not stop being a human being. Even Christ got angry at the gamblers, right? There's a humanity that comes with this role. You get to experience emotions, you get to experience sadness, and even anger. Dalai Lama experiences anger. It's what we do with everything that counts. Yes, people will be annoying. There's violence and sorrow going on. We're changing that. but not through pointing fingers and judgment and saying it's wrong. We all came here to change and evolve. And through your evolvement of not finding that as a problem, that will change. Why? Because as soon as we all raise our frequency, it affects the collective. When we stop seeing ourselves as separate entities, separate from each other, then there will be no problem. Why? Because you will treat the other as yourself. If you were in a bad mood or you were crabby or whatever, would you want somebody opposing you, or would you want kindness and compassion, no matter how nasty you were acting? And then your defenses would come down. And you might even apologize when you realize this person is giving you nothing but kindness. But the other person knows when you're irritated or they're a problem. And so when they're in a deeper, darker, dense place, they're going to battle that even more because they need to be right. And even if they know that they're not in a position yet to be okay, to say I'm sorry, and they just might. They may surprise you, but there should be no expectations of that. Is this happening to you? I know it happens to most people because the letters I get most are of somebody else is always a problem. It's always a boss or a husband or an ex-husband. And when I tell them, this is about you, they aren't the problem. If you have to walk away, but bless them. Not because, well, you need to punish them. And these people that you have married or had these long-term relationships with, all of a sudden you've decided that they're a problem. Well, you may not be resonating on the same frequency anymore, but they're not a problem. You've just evolved. You're not on the same frequency. It doesn't make them wrong because you were right in there with them. There's a reason you were with that person or married them. There's a reason why you have that boss that doesn't treat you well. This is part of your evolution. If you recognize that, you'll know what to do with it, and you'll know when to let it go on good terms. And if you do everything in peace, you may see a change in the other. And I've had many examples in the comments where people said that they went in and stopped seeing that person as a problem and started to help them. Not because you're trying to fix somebody else or you're right, but just to be the peace for them, that they saw massive changes in the boss or the relationships. All of a sudden that person wasn't opposing because now they don't feel they have to prove anything because they don't feel like you're looking down on them or see them as inferior or a problem. All of a sudden you were treating them with respect and they didn't have to go into the ego state anymore. They felt really good. They were connecting with you in a positive way. That's enlightenment. An enlightened person can walk through a crowded street with chaos and maintain peace. So ask yourself, are you calling yourself awakened? Or are you just living that life and evolving as every opportunity, not problem, arises? Because what's going to happen is awakened people who name themselves as awakened, they call themselves certain names that maybe will elevate themselves to a certain level, is still separation, saying that, well, I'm an evolved soul and you're not. No one is above or below anybody. We all have equal power. So when you write me with these, well, inquiries, asking for my opinion, my response is always, you hold the power. There is no problem, only opportunities for evolvement, and some of them are very unpleasant. I'm not going to say that everything is a wonderful lesson. It's going to be a lesson for sure, and it will be wonderful when you stop seeing it as a problem. Are you awakened? Awakened people are not bothered by the pain of the world. They're here to raise the frequency. They have a mission, and it is a difficult one. But, well, they'll maintain their position because the alternative, there isn't one. Some of the symptoms and the signs I'll go into in another video, and that might include, let's just say, well, I'm not sure depression's the proper word, but it's difficult to be in a world that has so much pain, and it's very discouraging sometimes for people to maintain that level of peace because, well, they don't really want to be here anymore. But you chose this role, so you are here. What are you going to do with it? You have to accept it. And you can't do your part if you hide away in a room and avoid everything that bothers you, because that means you're just not awakened. And that means you have work to do. We all do, every single day. And we're always going to be tested no matter what level, what frequency you resonate on. You will be tested to the day you die. Are you awakened? I think you know. And if you have to be named or you have to put yourself in we and then them and the world is a problem and the people are messed up and whatever, then I guess that's your answer. That you're not. There is no separation. We are one energy. And when you know that and you treat the other as yourself, you see the beauty in them. You see the hurt and the pain. Again, not here to fix somebody else, but your compassion and your kindness alone, that's all that's needed. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.